Welcome to the Transparent FX Academy. I'm Nick and I'm a top author on TradingView with over 190k reputation points. In this video, I'll speak about NZDUSD. And as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I'll cover the technical aspect for this market, then we will be moving to the commitment of traders, so the COT data, which is what the big players and institutions are doing and how they're moving and shifting their orders, which is what you see right here. And by the end of the video, by putting together these two different types of analysis, we will try to understand where we have the highest probabilities for the next potential move here for this pair. So this is definitely a video you do not want to miss. So without further ado, let's jump straight onto the charts. Starting here from the monthly time frame, what we can see is that we have a market which is currently testing a quite strong historical monthly demand and support area. From here, in fact, all these previous rejections to the upside were created. Every time the market tested the zone, it rejected it to the upside quite aggressively. And at the moment, the market is testing again the exact same area and is currently already in the process of rejecting it to the upside. So from a monthly standpoint, everything looks quite bullish and more bullish price action could be expected away from this area, as already happened in the past when the market was testing this exact same zone. And the rejection to the upside is fueled by institutional longing. And we will be speaking about institutional positioning in just a few moments when we move to the commitment of traders analysis. But for now, let's keep all of this in mind and drop down on the weekly time frame. From a weekly perspective, we can notice a perfect inversion of trend. We went from the creation of weekly lower lows and lower highs. Then we had this horizontal accumulation phase in which potentially more institutional buyers positioned their orders, because usually when you have horizontal movement at a historical demand and support zone, as we have already noticed that we do have at this level from a monthly standpoint, we see horizontal price action, accumulation of longs from an institutional perspective, also known as an accumulation zone, and then the inversion of trend happens. So it is something that looks like this. And that is exactly what happened here. We had the creation of lower lows and lower highs, so a downtrend, then horizontal accumulation. Now the trend inverted to the creation of higher highs and higher lows. So a perfect inversion of trend with the accumulation phase being here at the bottom. The opposite is the distribution phase, and that usually happens at the top of an uptrend. So you have an uptrend with the creation of higher highs and higher lows, then a period of horizontal price action, and then which is the distribution phase, and then the market inverts to the creation of lower lows and lower highs. That is simply the opposite of what just happened here. So let's keep all of this in mind and drop down on the daily time frame. Now, here on the daily, we can see a perfect manipulation. We had a massive push to the downside and then immediate reversion to the upside. This is a clear manipulation, and usually this happens at strong turning points in the market. And all the people that had their stop losses below these lows all got liquidated. So this was a perfect liquidation, usually happens at important levels, inside of which institutions want to add positions. If there isn't enough liquidity at the market in that specific moment, triggering stop losses can create that liquidity. Because remember that in the market, for every buyer, there needs to be a seller. For every seller, there needs to be a buyer. So in a situation like this, that is a perfect manipulation. Right now, what we're seeing is a new break of structure. This zone, in fact, which was previous daily resistance here and again here, has now been broken to the upside. So this previous resistance is now turned support here. And inside of a support zone, there is good probability of seeing more institutional buying, which could further increase the probabilities of a potential rejection to the upside. Now, if we look at the commitment of traders, the first thing that we have to keep in mind is that as we're looking at the NZD, we're actually already looking at NZDUSD because all currencies on the spot are traded against the USD. And we can notice how with the last reports, we went from minus 55.7k net positions, so a very negative net positioning with 73,000 shorts compared to only 17,000 longs, all the way up to now having minus 23.6k net positions. So a quite positive net positioning, not really completely positive, but definitely better than the minus 55k that we had here, which shows how shorts essentially on the NZDUSD got decreased massively. We went from 73k down to 33k, so essentially cut in half, and longs are now starting to be increased again from 7.9k to 9.9k. So if new longs will be added inside of here from an institutional perspective, that could further increase the probabilities of a potential push higher away from that zone. And by the way, if you still haven't, make sure that you join my free Telegram channel, which you find linked in description, so you never miss new updates. Now back to the analysis. So in a situation like this, what would I expect? Well, as usual, and as my students know very well, the monthly, weekly, and daily timeframes combined with the COT data, those are the best timeframes when it comes to the directional aspect of the market. However, when it comes to identifying early shifts in the trend of a market, the best timeframes for that are the intraday timeframes, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, what I would expect is that if this market would shift from an intraday bearish to a bullish market, I wouldn't be surprised to see a potential rejection to the upside away from this area, fueled by this institutional longing. That definitely wouldn't surprise me. All this free education and analysis that you see me share on YouTube is actually just the tip of the iceberg. If you want to learn more, I really suggest that you head over to the website linked in description, and you will be brought to my website. Here I really put together the best trading program on the planet. You can gain access to all my courses from the really basics of charting to the more advanced topics like building portfolios of automated strategies using the MQL programming languages, building portfolios of strategies, and much, much more. You have the possibility to gain access to the trading station software with the Telegram notification integrations, one-on-one mentoring directly with me, the COT data software, which often you see me use in my free analysis. And this is our all-in-one program. So you gain access to everything immediately. You gain access to all my EAs. So essentially you have access to my strategies, which you can then personalize to your own preferences. You gain access to the trading show. And here you basically can see the presentation of each and every one of my EAs. So each and every one of my strategies, which you will have access to. You gain access to the trading show, which is essentially a live stream of all trades as they're happening on my account. So opened, closed, managed, everything in real time. And if you continue to scroll down past the testimonials, you will see that you have the possibility to join and gain automatically access with the email and password that you will create during the sign up process. So I really suggest that you go and check it out. The link is in the description, and I will see you in it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure that you click on the like button to support the channel. Also, any questions you might have, let me know in the comments below. Also, new pairs that you would like me to cover in my next videos. Make sure to also subscribe to the channel so you never miss new updates, and I will see you in my next video.